orbs you see hovering around New Jersey is not aliens. Those are called plasmoids. A very well-documented study for decades. And this is not new, okay? It's a very well-known phenomenon, especially in plasma physics. So let's start with the basics. The word plasma may be considered as a blood component or TVs. But in the world of physics, plasma tackled differently, and it is part of the fourth state of matter, alongside with a solid, liquid, and gas. Those drones that flying above New Jersey are only looking for a radioactive materials, and they all try to pick up a radiation. Now, this radioactive material always emits an ionizing radiation that can ionize gas and create high energy particles. And this ionization can produce plasma, or known as plasmoids, not aliens, okay? The simplest way to explain what plasmoid is by looking at our local sun. On deeper level, our local sun is a plasmoid. Now let's go back to the fourth state of matter again. The solid, liquids, gas, and the plasma. So everything you see within the local sun is considered and technically plasma, a superheated gas when atoms have lost their electrons. Plasmoid is a coherent structure of plasma and magnetic field. Since plasma is an ionized gas, it can occur naturally and also it can be made at the labs. And for it to exist, you have to maintain electric, especially on the magnetic fields, and maintain the high temperature of a plasma. So when these are in the water, since water is a good conducting material, then the electricity would be dissipated into the water and completely obliterate the structure of plasmoids. That's why you see it luminous looking orbs. It is a state of matter, usually made up of charged particles, that's of ions and electrons. These particles are always confined in specific region in magnetic fields. Our galaxies are literally plasmoids. Now, the one you see as orbs in the sky that are maybe 10 centimeters in size isn't necessarily exclusive to the power, especially that's within the magnetic fields. The shape of plasmoids are not shaped as a ball. It's more likely like a flatter shape like a donut, wrapping around itself or revolving around with its own axis. That drone that get close to the plasmoid, when a drone fell and there's this woman who took a video and shouting, should wear hazmat gear, considering plasmoids as stars. Because when you get close to this material, there is a radiation, as plasmoids are like stars. And stars always gives off a radiation, and radiation can ruin any electronic devices or any electronic material. And no, they don't have explosive properties. But when you think about lightning, for example, as lightning is also plasma. When lightning hits something, because of its huge intensity, there can be some sort of quote-unquote explosivity to it. And it's all depending on what it hits. And we all have plasmas at homes. The lights on our ceilings, those are plasmas. Plasmoids doesn't affect you mentally, okay? Especially the ones at the atmosphere. Thinking it can affect somebody down, which is us, because it doesn't make sense. There are no scientists that suspect that a plasmoid is a sentient being. It's the same with our bodies that requires complexity, as we all are made of protons, neutrons, and electrons, with different atoms and different molecules. Like our brain matter, for instance, that always create pathways when we are talking about consciousness and intelligence. When talking about plasma or plasmoids, we are only talking about the presence of protons and electrons moving around at high speed, especially with its high temperature. That's why you will see it as a speeding orbs. That's all it is. It's not an alien, not an alien orbs, not even an alien invasion. There's no biological evidence and no scientific evidence within plasma physics to suggest that there are any sort of living organisms, especially within plasmoids. Plasmoids are capable of carrying and transferring energy, a very important part of astrophysics and fusion research. Besides, we're all seeing it on our ceiling lights and also in the labs. And you can also observe plasmoids in our thermosphere and our Earth magnetosphere, especially when there is a geomagnetic storms. This all will scattered above. Since Earth is electromagnetic, plasmoids are formed when magnetic reconnection occurs, which is the breaking and reconnecting of the magnetic fields, especially on our magnetic field lines. And during this process, the magnetic field lines break and reconnect and will create an intense energy release and can accelerate plasma particles, a structure of hot temp with a dense plasma and magnetic field, or known as the CMEs. These plasmoids could unlock doors, we never even know existed. Time travel, maybe? Travel of the speed of light? This only reminds us how much we have yet to learn about this universe. Assalamu alaikum. I hope this video helps.